Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Amirah binti Alam. Ahli kumpulan saya adalah Nurul Fatihah binti Kamarul Zaman dan Nabilah binti Abdul Aziz. Kami memilih untuk membuat klinik patient database management system. Seperti yang dilihat di dalam gambar di sebelah, sharing yang saya kongsikan ini, di sini merupakan ERD kami, iaitu reka bentuk pangkalan data untuk sistem urusan pesakit di klinik lah. Sistem untuk reka bentuk atau pangkalan data ini ataupun database design ini kami gunakan platform PHP MyAdmin. Sistem pengurusan pesakit ini direka untuk penambahbaikan, terutamanya bagi klinik-klinik yang menggunakan sistem manual, yang mana ia dapat menguruskan semua rekod pesakit, doktor yang merawat, pemeriksaan pesakit itu check up, rawatan yang diberikan, treatment dan perubatan lah. Dan tujuan utama sistem pengurusan klinik adalah untuk menjaga perincian pesakit dan membuat pengambilan data mudah dan berkesan. Kembali kepada ERD kami, seperti yang dikongsikan, ia adalah grafik yang menggambarkan entiti sistem maklumat dan hubungan antara entiti dalam sistem kami lah. Dalam elemen ERD kami ada 3 elemen, iaitu entiti itu sendiri, yang mana table yang kami berikan ini, relationship entiti tersebut dan attributes. Seperti dalam ERD kami, ERD kami mempunyai PK. ERD kami PK mewakili primary key, yang mana ia adalah unique identify dalam sesebuah table, manakala FK mewakili foreign key, yang mana ialah attributes kepada primary key dan another host table lah. Manakala CK mewakili composite key, yang mana ia merupakan candidate key atau primary key yang terdiri daripada satu attributes. Dalam ERD kami mempunyai 5 table, iaitu table nurse ataupun entity nurse, di mana nurse dapat menguruskan semua maklumat mengenai doktor di klinik dengan nombor pengenalan doktor, nama doktor dan nombor telefon doktor. Relationship antara doktor dan nurse adalah one to many, di mana seorang doktor boleh berkhidmat kepada ramai doktor. Table yang kedua adalah doktor, di mana table ataupun entiti ini para doktor dapat uruskan semua rekod semua pesakit dan rawatan yang diberikanlah. Relationship antara doktor dan pemeriksa pesakit mewakili many to many, di mana ramai doktor boleh periksa ramai pesakit. Yang ketiga adalah table check-up atau pemeriksaan, di mana entiti atau table ini mempunyai atribut mengenai perincian pemeriksaan pesakit seperti nombor pengenalan daftar masuk, tarikh pemeriksaan, komplain pesakit, nombor pengenalan pesakit dan nombor pengenalan doktor lah. Yang keempat adalah table pesakit atau patient table, di mana entiti ini dapat menguruskan semua maklumat pesakit dengan atribut nombor pengenalan pesakit, nama pesakit, nombor telefon pesakit, jenis kelamin pesakit, umur pesakit dan alamat pesakit. Relationship antara patient dan check-up adalah sama, iaitu many to many, di mana ramai pesakit boleh mendapatkan pemeriksaan check-up berkali-kali atau kerap. Dan kelima adalah medicine. Medicine ataupun table entity ini mengandungi atribut, di mana semua rekod ubat-ubatan melalui medicine ID lah, dan mempunyai tarikh di mana permintaan ubat itu dimohonlah. Manakala di antara table patient dan medicine ini merupakan composite table yang menghubungkan table patient dan disease, dan relationship antara ketiga-tiga table ini dan many to many, di mana pesakit boleh mendapatkan banyak kali rawatan dan banyak pesakit boleh mendapatkan berbagai jenis ubat bergantung pada simptom yang mereka alami. Sekian sahaja daripada saya. Saya berikan kepada Cik Fatihah untuk meneruskan presentation yang seterusnya.
Okay, thank you Kak. Okay, salam sir, my name is Nurul Fatihah binti Kamarul Zaman. Next, I will explain about our documentation in our report. Here is what we have in our report. First is business activity. Okay, first, our database is created to improve our clinic management system. It's also help to smooth our workflow in our clinic. This is our main reason that we created the registration system. Okay, the business process that involved in our clinic is first, patient will need to register every time when they are coming to the clinic, and if the patient never coming to the clinic before, all the collected information will be stored in our database. But if they have coming to the clinic before, all the data will be saved, will be stored in our database, and our database will find the patient data using using search and using identity card, and that will be improved. That will be cut the cost, cut the timing during the registration process. After that, the patient will be assigned to a specific doctor, and when they are receive their treatment, the doctor will send a report to the patient, which include all the name of the medication, and then the nurse will will review the report and complete the patient record. After that, the nurse will compile all the list medication that needed by the patient, and then after that, they will be updated into our database, and all the record of the patient will be safely in our database. That's a process of the in our clinic. Okay, this is our problem statement. As you know that our clinic have using the traditional method before this, and we now trying to upgrade to the modern method. That will be it will be cut the human effort in our clinic. However, there's still problems. There's still problem in getting our system. The existing system having a problem. This is the problem statement that we create. First is problem statement is the registration of patient, the name and the content of the information and of the doctor, the medication treatment provided by a doctor, the information on the nurse, the information on the medication. That's the problem statement. Okay. Next is our objective. There are 3 objectives that we required in our database management system. Okay. First is this is to fulfill our project requirement for Ims506 subject. Second is to make sure that it is easier to keep track of patient, doctor, and medication information from the technical standard point. It will also assist in reducing number of patient records that are lost. That's the second objective. The third objective is it help to treating the doctor for the clinic has access to patient information record and can make change them automatically. Okay. Next is business rule. Okay. This is our business rule. As our Al has explained. Okay. This is our business rule. Okay, and this is our ERD. Same is Kak has explained. Okay, and here is our contextual ERD. Okay, you can see this based on our picture here. This is what you can get from the PHP MyAdmin. Okay, and this is our relation diagram. Also, we can get from the PHP diamond. This picture show the relationship between the doctor and the nurse. We can see here, and here is the data dictionary that we can get from the PHP MyAdmin. Okay, in here, we have 5 tables in PHP MyAdmin. First is doctor table. Okay, there are three attributes in doctor table. First is doctor ID, second is doctor name, third is doctor phone number. Okay, doctor the doctor ID is what's mean by doctor ID is the doctor identification number. This doctor name and doctor phone number. Okay, in doctor ID we only need 10. We cannot input more than 10 integer number. Okay, also doctor ID is also our the primary key, and doctor name we cannot put uh, name. We cannot put in data more than 150 50 50 name, 50 object. Okay, next is table nurse. Okay, there are 4 attributes in our table nurse. First is nurse ID, second is nurse name, third is nurse phone number, fourth is doctor ID. Okay. In doctor nurse ID, we just need to put not integer, not more than 10 integer. Nurse ID not more than 155 vacha, and nurse phone number we cannot add more than 10 integer, and doctor ID we cannot add more than 10 integer. For the foreign key, for the nurse ID is our primary key, and doctor ID is our foreign key. For the check ID, we have 5 attribute. First is check ID, second is check date, third is check complaint, fourth is patient ID, fifth is doctor ID. Okay, same with other table. Check ID we include 10, not more than 10 integer. Check date is we need to input the date for the checkup date for the patient, and check complaint we just cannot put more than 150 vacha. Okay, we need to put what is the checkup complaint by the doctor. Okay, patient ID is not, we cannot input more than 10 integer, and doctor ID we cannot also input more than 10 integer. Okay, for our check ID is primary key, and for patient ID and doctor ID is our foreign key. Next is stable patient. We have 6 stable patient. First is patient ID, second is patient name, third is patient phone number, fourth is patient type, fifth is patient age, and the sixth is patient address. Okay. In the type of our attribute, they are integer. For the 5 patient ID, we cannot add more than 10 integer. Patient name we can add more than 155 vacha, and for the patient number we can add 10 integer, and patient type we can add input more than 155 page vacha, and patient ID we can input more than 10 integer, and for the patient address we have to input text in our PHP admin. Okay, the description is we have for the patient ID is input the patient ID number, and for the patient name we input the patient name. For the phone number, patient phone number, we input the patient phone number, and patient type, what is the type of gender of the patient. Okay, for the patient age, what is the age of the patient, and the patient address is what is the patient of address of the patient. Next is get treatment. There are 3 attributes in get treatment table. First is get ID, second is patient ID, and third is medicine ID. The description is get ID is we have to input the identification number, and it must not than 10 integer. Next is patient ID. We must put also the patient identification number, and it must not than 10 integer. And third is medicine ID. We must put medical identification number, and must not less than 10 integer. For the get ID is our primary key, and the patient ID and medicine ID is our foreign key. For the last table is the medicine table. There are 3 attributes in the medicine table. First is medicine ID, second is medicine name, third is requested. Okay, medicine ID, we have to put the medicine identification number. And for the medicine name, we have to put the name of the medical. And the third is what is the, when the date is request. Okay, and the integer, the type is for the medicine ID is integer. We must not put more than 10 integer for the medicine ID. And medicine name is varchar, and we must not put not less than 155 varchar. And date, we must put input the date of the request date. Okay, for the primary key is for the medicine ID is our is for the medicine ID is our primary key, and medicine name is our foreign key. Lastly is our conclusion. Okay, the clinic management system was created to create to smooth our system in our clinic, and it will be cut the human effort in our clinic lah. And it was designed most effectively to develop a good information that will give us understanding how the database information will be organized and manage all the information for the future use. That's all. Next, I will let my friend to explain another part. Thank you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum to my friend and Sir Ridwan. Okay, saya Nabila akan sambung bahagian database. Okay. Dalam sistem ini kita ada 5 table or entity seperti check, doctor, get treatment, check, doctor, medicine, nurse and patient, dan satu table composite iaitu get treatment. Okay. Kita pergi ke table check first. Okay, kita pergi ke structure. Okay, dalam table check kita ada 5 atribut: check ID, mewakili primary key, dan check date, check complaint, patient ID and doctor ID adalah primary key. Okay. Kita pergi ke table pertama, nurse. Okay, structure. Dalam nurse ada 4 atribut: nurse ID mewakili primary key, nurse name dan nurse phone number, dan primary key adalah doctor ID. Okay, dekat nurse kita pergi ke insert dan kita try nurse ID, kita try masuk 6, and nurse name masukkan Ain, dan nurse phone number and the doctor ID Dr. Ahmad 14. Then kita tekan grow. Okay, now insert text. Kita browse. Then ada kat sini. Okay. Second table is table doctor. Okay, kita pergi ke structure. Okay, dalam table doctor kita ada 3 atribut: doctor ID mewakili primary key, doctor name dan doctor phone number. Okay, pergi ke insert. Okay, doctor ID kita masukkan 17, doctor name kita masukkan doctor name, and the phone number is 12. Dan tekan go. Okay, now inserted, kita pergi tengok pause. dan dah masuk sini Dr. Alim. Okay. Table yang ketiga kita akan pergi ke table patient dan structure. Dalam table patient kita ada 6 atribut. Patient ID mewakili primary key, patient name, patient phone number, patient type, patient age, patient address. Now, patient ID 21, patient name kita kami dapat masuk nama dia. The patient phone number is and the patient type is male and next patient is kita pergi tengok kat browse patient K masuk text masukkan next is table checkup. Okay, kita pergi ke structure. Okay, dalam table checkup kita ada 5 atribut: check ID, mewakili primary key, check date, check complaint, patient ID and Dr. ID untuk foreign key. Dan check ID kita pakai auto increment. So, check ini untuk kita pilih date 8 hari bulan 7 dan check complaint kita ialah patient ID kita dan number. Dan go. Okay. Dash. Tengok dekat table checkup. Okay. So, ini kita. Okay. Last one. Next. Kita pergi ke table medicine. Okay. Medicine kita ada ada 3 atribut. Medicine ID mewakili primary key and the medicine name mewakili foreign key dan requested. So kita tekan kita and then the medicine name is and then the requested kita boleh pilih tadi kita dah pilih check date kita 87 dan request date kita pilih the 11/7. So insert okay, let's pergi ke get treatment, table composite get treatment. Okay. Dalam ni ada 3 atribut, get ID, primary key, patient ID and medicine ID untuk foreign key. Okay. So try insert get ID. Okay, inserted, kita pergi ke browse and then is here. Okay, so untuk semua ini front is kita lari-lari. Nampak tak? Okay. Okay. What is CRD kita? Okay ke?
Okey Dato' Bella. Okey.
Okay. What is CRD kita? And okay, itu sahaja daripada bahagian saya.
Okey doktor, itu saja daripada grup kami dan terima kasih banyak-banyak. Assalamualaikum.